This is Emma and Carla, the Merrymaker Sisters. Hello!
Hello!
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having us.
I am just down here at, where are we? Mermaid Beach.
Yes.
On the Gold Coast
At
of
our favourite
Australia.
cafe.
Favourite cafe. We've just had an amazing breakfast and we've been chatting all things yoga, manifestation, challenges, why things come up for us in our lives. What else have we been covering?
Goals.
Oh, we even spoke about food. It was amazing.
Yeah. Did we say yoga? Yoga. I think we spoke a lot about yoga.
Do you think it all kind of comes back to yoga? I mean, really, yoga and food have got a lot of the same principles in the way that we approach the practice of yoga, the way that we approach food and preparing food. You know, any sort of beliefs that we've got from our childhood can really affect us. Would you believe?
Yeah. I mean, our thoughts are so powerful, and you know, sometimes we get stuck in these negative thoughts and they manifest into this craziness, and you look back and you're like, oh, like I created that myself. I mean, you were talking about that, I was talking about it, you were talking about that. It's a crazy thing, and I think awareness is key, that our thoughts do matter.
And we've been talking a lot about that, and something that we've all got in common, that we've realised that some of the stuff that's happened to us, that's challenged us, kind of did start off as a thought now that we look back and reflect. So guys, be mindful of your thoughts. So tell me, you both had the normal sort of day jobs, weren't really absolutely loving what you were doing, and what changed? Because now you have this amazing worldwide community of followers who come to you for connection and inspiration and have changed their lives through food and healthy living.
Yeah.
Was there like a turning point?
Oh my gosh, well, it all started back in 2012. Yeah, that was when I found out I had a gluten intolerance. So, you know, I kind of went down this like Google wormhole of like, what is the gluten intolerance, and came across this real food way of living. And we just started eating that way, and it just was amazing. The physical benefits were like amazing, but it was the mental stuff. I mean, previous to this, we'd just been struggling with our relationship with food. Like, since you were 11, you were on a diet, and I was just unhappy. Yeah. I was unhappy with, you know, body image issues, just always like beating myself up about not looking a particular way, developed an eating disorder. So just this like very, very negative, toxic relationship with ourselves and the food we ate and our diet. And this real food just was like alleviated it. It was like, it was like we were lighter, like it just made sense. And we felt good.
Yeah, and it brought so much joy to our lives. And when we just started sharing photos to our, like my personal Instagram page of like recipes we'd made, or like the fun we were having, people just started to ask questions about it, and we were like, we have to do something about this. Like, people want to know more, and we were so passionate about it and so excited by it that we ended up Googling what is a blog and then how to start a blog, because we had no idea. We thought the internet was for like Facebook and checking the weather. Like, that's all we thought it was for.
Facebook and checking the weather. How things have grown and evolved.
Oh my god. Yeah, like, movie times, definitely movie times.
Yeah, and so we wrote our first blog post, and then we fell in love with blogging and writing and sharing our story and sharing
and connecting
recipes.
with people.
Yeah. And we were, as you said, in 9-to-5 desk jobs that we hated. So we found like healthy eating. We had figured out that, like, you know, sort of our thoughts matter. And then we're like, well, there's one thing that's like holding us back, and it was these jobs and this like toxic environment that we were in 9 to 5. And we realized we'd been spending 9 to 5 so many days of so many years hating our days. And we're like, we have to do something about this. Merrymakers had brought us so much joy. Like, can we turn this into something full time? And one day we just like had enough. We actually ended up asking for leave without pay. They said no. Yeah. And that very same day, we wrote the same resignation.
Yeah, we got back to our desk.
And it was like 3, 2, 1, send.
Yeah,
and we were just like, we're done.
And we like pretty much just like skipped out. And then we got back home and we pulled our angel cards. And what angel cards?
We got time to go.
Oh.
And notice the signs.
Yeah.
Wow. And speaking of signs, you guys were also telling me about how you saw these parrots as well when you moved to the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
So of course I got the girls to Google the meaning of parrots, and it was about pairing up and new ideas.
Yeah.
And you're talking a lot about connection. You'll hear in their language joy and love. And that's a lot about what makes up the Merrymaker Sisters. Look at the word merry, and there's all of that meaning just, you know, summed up in the word merry. So tell me, when you're merry, and I call it your love tank is full, Yeah, we're in a great place. We can give abundantly and operate like you guys do so well, and build your communities and lead by example. But sometimes, like we're all experiencing the other side of the screen, sometimes we're not feeling so merry, and our love tank is a little depleted. First of all, how do you know, both of you know, when you're feeling depleted? Because a lot of us don't know we're depleted.
I think it's just like this lack of like drive, energy, like you kind of just like coasting along, feeling a bit mediocre. Like you might not necessarily feel bad or like, you know, sad, but it's like just this like dullness. It's like just like that. Like you're just kind of like a little bit nothing.
Yeah, and like there might be something that yesterday you were happy to do or you were excited to do, and then maybe it's the same thing you're doing today and you're just like not feeling the joy with that anymore. And I always find that if I've got this list of like things that I like wanted to do yesterday that I'm looking at today, and I just have no drive and no, like I just like, I'm like, I don't want to do any of that. Like that's when I'm like, I need to give something back to me. Like I've given so much. It's like I forgot about me. So it's time to fill myself back up.
So you can see here just in this beautiful sistership, which is also business partnership and friendship and everything, that we've got more of a kinesthetic sort of learner and mover, and you're more of a visual. So you're looking at your to-do list and that sort of thing. And I suppose you pull each other up all the time. So, okay, now we know when we're depleted. What do you do? What does Carla, what does Emma do to go and fill up your merry tank?
I think
Can I call it the merry tank?
Yeah, merry tank. It's about being outside, being in nature. I mean, we live on the Gold Coast, the beach. Like one minute on the beach, and it's like you're a different person. One step into the ocean, get into the ocean. Underneath, you're
Got to be the head.
Yeah, got to be the head, because then
it's gotta be.
Who
cares about your hair?
Yeah.
Even if you washed it yesterday, do not
doesn't
worry.
matter. Like you go under and then you come back out, and it's like you are a different person. You're just like, I'm magical now. Like if something happens when you go under that water and you come back out.
It's crazy. And I think yoga. We love yoga.
Yeah,
Pilates, moving. Like there's something like about moving, walking. And I think as well, like surrounding yourself with amazing people. And it doesn't have to be hundreds of people. It doesn't have to be like a huge amount. It's just like these quality relationships.
And if you can't, and if you can't find them in real life, like it is hard to find them sometimes. Like there are communities online that you can like go on and like, yes, it's not that like in real life connection, but at least you can like, no, you're not alone. Like there is someone out there. They understand. They're there for you. And then also these connections lead to real life connections like ours as well. Yeah, we started online. Now we're in real life.
Magic.
Friends via the internet. And I tell you what happened just a little bit before we became friends via the internet, and this comes back to this beautiful sistership quality, filling ourselves up, and the feelings that a lot of your clients I know experience with anxiety around the kitchen. Are you someone that just sits there thinking, I don't know what to eat, I want to be healthy, I don't know what to add with this potato or this piece of meat or this salad? If that's you are exactly the same as thousands of other people on the other side of the screen that have come to find these beautiful women. And one of those people is someone who's very, very close to me, because that is my sister, Emily.
We love her.
So I get anxious about opening businesses, and my sister gets anxious about walking into a kitchen, okay? So for her, not anymore, thanks to these girls, for her, the idea of going to a supermarket was confronting, because she didn't know what to buy. And if she was asked to bring something along to a dinner party perhaps, she had no idea where to start. She wasn't really a typical recipe user. And I remember her telling me that she must have been following you in some way, and she'd saw like these bright, cheery personalities behind the page, easy recipes, and so she said to herself, maybe I'll join the community. And do you know what she said to me? Because these girls got massive online communities through their tribe, private groups. She said to me, I'm not going to do anything on the Facebook group though. She said, I'll just follow and watch. Wow. From following and watching, what she followed and watched was other people trying to make the lamb burgers, experimenting with their chia puddings and all the reds and the pinks and everything mushing together. And she realised everyone was the same. They all had the same stuff. And she became, I believe, an avid follower, sharer and poster, and still is.
Yeah, Emily
she's
was
a Merrymaker.
meals and commenting on all the things. So she came in thinking that she wasn't going to she was just going to watch and like look at everyone else, which is so fine. Like you can do that and still get so much from it.
Yeah.
Then she ended up just like adding all of her joy and adding all of her experiments too. And it's been amazing. Like, it's amazing watching people grow and just...
But it's amazing that you get to see that, and I feel honoured, and that's why I'm eternally grateful for you guys, because as a sister and as someone who's really in touch with, you know, being creative in the kitchen, it wasn't my journey to help my sister and to push it. It would have been the worst thing I could do. She quietly found you, and I can honestly say she has changed. She's really confident in the kitchen. She walks in with a smile and with that joy that you're talking about. And so if you are thinking for a second you're on the other side of the screen, check out the Merrymaker Sisters, guys. They've just got so much content. We've just been talking about all the things that they're doing. And the girls you're not just, what I love about you is you're not just about what comes out on the plate, but it's the lifestyle that comes along with it. So tell me a little bit about that, because I know you came from the intolerances and the diets and the eating disorders.
Yeah.
Then you find food. What happens once you then start eating healthy? What did you notice?
Yeah. Just like, you just change. You become more joyful because this stuff that's going on, this anxiety, these old thoughts that have like kind of been controlling you, go. And then it opens you up for whatever is waiting for you, whatever you're born to do. I think it's like a weird thing that a lot of people, you put these pressures on yourself. We did, and we were missing out on life because our brain is consumed forever.
All we thought about was food. We were about the past or anxious about the future. That's all we could think about.
Yeah.
And then when there was like this way of eating and living that like alleviated all of that, it was like a little more space.
Yeah.
To like learn more and like to just like enjoy every day more, instead of like spending our days literally thinking about food and guilty and anxious. Like, it was like we were allowing for good feelings, to be more present as well, like to enjoy the moment instead of like living in the past or living in the future. So I think that's what it brought to us. And I think when you start living like a healthy lifestyle, which you're getting rid of the gunk or like everything that's like kind of built up, then you like start learning about like mindset and like how you can make changes there. And like then you start learning about like, what can I change with my relationships? What could I do there? What could I do here? And you just start to be more aware of like everything going on in your life, and that you can make changes to wherever you want, and you have the power to do that. And it all starts with like, because realizing that you have the power to change what you put in your mouth, that's you. And then you realize, actually, if it's all me, I can change whatever I want to change.
So we realise that change is inevitable, but it comes from within us. And for a lot of us that are feeding these thoughts day in, day out, you can see here prime examples of how people have been able to recognise their thoughts. And I'm sure you could sit here and honestly say you don't still have those thoughts sometimes. You'll see them bubble up, they come up.
Oh, yeah.
What do you do when you feel it or when you see it bubble up?
Yeah, we always say like it's like so important to like have a toolbox of like things that you're really confident in using when you do realize that that thought is like rebubbling up. And like it is all, first of all, like about awareness, like because like, you know, it's like sometimes the thought will come up and you don't realize that it's come up, and that you've been going on for an hour or two or a day or two, and you're like, oh man, I've been doing that for a day or two. So it's like practicing the awareness, and like as you practice you get faster at it, and you can start to recognize the same feelings. Oh, that's what I was feeling 2 weeks ago when I was going back to my guilty feelings about food, or this about that. So I think like practicing the awareness is like number one, but then like having the tools to like come back. And it's not about like there's this like feedback loop, like that negative feedback loop that you can like dwell, oh, I have that negative thought. Why do I always have those negative thoughts? I'm so this, I'm so that, like I always do this. It's like snapping as quickly as you can into like a grateful thought. Gratitude is the game changer. If you can go to a grateful thought from any other thought, you will not be able to feel anything else. You cannot be angry, you cannot be stressed, you cannot be guilty when you're grateful.
And we can do some awesome gratitude meditations. We can just sit and just reel off a list, like sometimes you'd reel off a list of all the things you're feeling guilty about. Reel off a list of all the things you're grateful for. Gratitude is a game changer. I absolutely love that one. So there was also something else that you said. You know how you're talking about these feelings of guilt? Yeah? Do you feel like in your past that if you're having feelings of guilt around your food, do you feel like that kind of filtrates into all areas of your life? And you might find you get guilty about having a time off, guilty about not doing enough work, whatever it might be. Do you feel like that's a common emotion?
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
like, I think everyone in today's society has this guilt. For some reason, we're letting other people down, and this guilt, like, kind of starts to control us. And I think back to awareness. It's awareness that, like, the feeling of guilt does nothing for us. It doesn't serve us in any way. It just takes us down this negative whirlwind. And I think it is like, it goes to every field of your life. Just like how food, changing your diet can impact every other aspect of your life. A guilty feeling here will cross over everywhere, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. It always crosses over. So I think it is again coming back to gratitude. If you're feeling guilty about a relationship, like not spending enough time with someone, it's like, well, let's come back to gratitude. Like, what are you grateful for that person, or like, what are you grateful like for yourself for doing for yourself, and then
I think
for
that's
them.
really important.
Like, it's just like, and it's good because like they're both G words, so guilty and grateful, so you can easily remember.
And game changer.
Yeah, if you get guilty, get grateful.
And then it's a game changer.
And there's your game changer. So, you know, I saw this awesome quote when I was traveling around, I think it was Ireland, which I went to with my sister when she was underage. She was 16 or 17, and I'm 5 years older than her. And we came across this little magnet or something, and it said, sisters by chance, friends by choice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And I think you guys have decided to do that, and it's an inspiration for other siblings as well, just to show that you can have that. And tell me, with your loving relationship with each other, how do you find time to connect with your sistership as well as your business partnership?
Yeah.
And how do you sort of work balance the two?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's ever equally balanced, because like sometimes we'll just be so business focused and be focusing so much on Merrymakers, and then we realize, oh, like we forgot, like we're sisters, like we need to give us like some love. So like the other day we went to the day spa, like we just like let's just go to the day spa. We're not going to talk about work. We're not going to talk about anything. Let's just go be sisters. And like that's so important, like to like just be sisters first sometimes, and then business partners first other times. But then again, the sistership always comes into the business, and it's such a positive for us because it allows us to be so open with everything. Like if we're not feeling good about something, if we're not sure about something, we're not nervous or like scared or afraid to like talk to the other person, which sometimes you can be with business partners or colleagues. Like so I think,
and that's a really good business message.
I was just gonna say, I think like realizing that every single relationship, you know, it needs energy and focus for it to grow and evolve and strengthen. Like whatever the relationship, if you want to make it last, or if you want to like make it joyful, you need to put energy there.
what you focus on grows.
Exactly. And it's, I think people kind of forget. They think, okay, this is my relationship, it should be easy. Like, you know, I married this person, I love them, it should be easy. Or like, it's my brother, my sister, like, it should just be fine. But it's like, well, no, of course, we're going to drift apart if we don't put energy there or focus there. So
someone told us once that when you buy like an old classic car, you don't just leave it in the garage and expect it to run forever and ever and ever. You have to service it and you have to treat it really well if you want it to be the best classical car ever. And I was like, and they said, you've got to treat your relationships like that. It's like you've got to service them. You have to do things. You have to make help each other grow, and like put energy there, not just like be like stagnant and like just expect it to stay the same, because it won't if you're not like putting your energy there and doing things and thinking good thoughts about it. So
realizing, I think as well, that, you know, there's two different people and there's two different sets of values and two different ways of communicating, and you know, it's this journey of figuring out how you work together, because like that's the magic, that you are different people. Like we don't all want to be the same. Like that would be pretty boring. Like it's good that we're different, but sometimes if you like kind of like drift away or like lack the energy and focus, that's when they kind of break apart.
Yeah, I mean, they say if you stay the same, nothing changes.
Yeah.
Right? And you're talking about fueling your relationships in the same way that I often talk about in yoga, you know, is a lot of us spend more money and more time on caring for our cars, putting petrol in the car and servicing it than we even do in our own bodies and our temples. Yeah, so we know we can service and fuel our bodies through healthy food. And it's not that people sort of think healthy food is either expensive or really difficult and takes too long in the kitchen. In fact, it's quite simple, and it really does come back to simple methods, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. Like we always say, like we've got like 3 rules. We don't have many rules, so you have 3 rules for like our recipes. It has to be quick, easy, and delicious. Like, and now I've got a new one. I think fun and yum, because that rhymes.
Fun and yum.
So, like, it's fun and yum to say. It's fun and yum. And I think healthy eating can be that way. Like it doesn't have these million ingredients that you don't understand. You're like, where is that herb from? I've never heard that. How do I use that?
And it doesn't have to be tasteless, like chicken and broccoli.
Yeah.
Like completely no flavour,
Bland.
like nothing. Like, we had years of that, and it does not work.
Yeah.
It is, like, just sucks out the joy.
Yeah.
But you can add joy to your food and create the most, like, exciting, delicious
Colourful.
meals, and, like, easy. Like, I mean, they're bloody easy.
Yeah.
And I think, like, you know, like, we're not, like, these, like, chef wizards. Like, we want to get in and out of that kitchen just as quick as you guys. Like, we don't want to spend our lives there.
Yeah.
We love it, but we would rather be at the beach, or
Yeah.
we'd rather be at the yoga studio, we'd rather be having coffee with our friends. Like,
Yeah.
that's what we would rather be doing. So it's like, how can I fuel my body, look after myself, enjoy the food as well? Because we think everything should be delicious, because it shouldn't just be fuel, it has to be fun. Like, how can we do that in the quickest way possible? And the cheap and expensive thing, I mean, like, do what you can with what you have. Like, that's
Yeah.
our message.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And this girl's just amazing.
Aw.
I'm just so excited about meeting and connecting with you. And thank you so much for
Thank
filling
you.
up your love tanks, to gratitude being our #1 game changer. Sisters and the sistership, it's just such a special gift that you share with the world, and I just want to acknowledge you for that and how you're changing so many people's lives. I'm looking forward to spending plenty more time with you. Before we leave, can we just let everyone know, do you have like a mantra or anything that you're just loving right now, or a quote that you've heard lately? One each if you could.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
the one that's always like stuck with, like, from us, like, as like from the very beginning of Merrymakers, is follow your bliss. So, like, and whatever that might be, whether it is drawing or painting or running or walking or yoga or a business, like, bliss doesn't have to equal like your career. It can equal whatever you want it to be. Follow that, because that's where the fun is.
Yeah, and I guess another big one, and it is for us as well, like what we've like come across in our journey, is to look sideways. And that's just the idea that, you know, like, we are all the same, we're all equal. So, you know, these judgmental thoughts, or like these people we put on pedestals, like, they don't exist. We're all the same. We're all made of the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, if we just like
Look
see
sideways.
everyone sideways the same, I think it allows us to grow and to create these loving relationships and help people, and also receive the help we might need.
That is awesome, and it's brought me to one more question. I hope you don't mind. But you're talking about a loving relationship, and I feel like a lot of people that don't have as much loving relationships with their food is often because they've been forced to eat everything that's on their plate, or forced to eat something they don't really like, or eat at a certain time. Could you perhaps give some of your beautiful insight on some of that as well?
Yeah. We grew up like with our dad saying, eat everything off your plate.
Okay.
Like, you have to finish your plate. And that definitely stuck with us. Like, we went through a like big, like, it took us ages to get over overeating. Even though we're eating healthy, we're still overeating. And like, that's not good for us either. And it was just this like mindset thing that we were just like, I couldn't stop. Like, I was just like, no, I have to finish my plate. But I mean, how did we get over? I guess like mindful eating like was a big thing. Like, when we first started learning about that, about like tasting the food, truly chewing the food, and like being at your table wherever you're eating, being there and only being there.
Yeah.
Like, I think like we get so distracted by everything, everyone around us, like making sure they're okay and eating our dinner
On the phone, watching TV.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, we don't mindfully eat every time.
No.
Like, no way. We definitely fall back to the old ways. Put on Netflix, drink the smoothie.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's just like a matter of like trying to add as much as like of that mindfulness that you can, and just like the awareness again. I think everything comes back to awareness, that realizing that, you know, what we do, what our actions, what our thoughts are on a day-to-day basis, on an hour-to-hour basis, actually matter. That they're creating our future, that they're making who we are, like they're creating us.
Yeah, well, and like realizing that like it might only be one tiny weeny change that you make that makes all the difference, and looking at it that way, instead of being like, I want to be over there, like that's my big goal. It's like, actually, what can you do today? What is that one small change you can do today that's going to get you a little bit closer? And then you make another little small change, and then a little one, and then eventually you might get there. But then, you know what, you get there and you probably want to be somewhere else too. So like, it's about enjoying those little steps, enjoying every single step of the way, and how can you bring more joy into that? Like, how can you like bring the fun back into it? And that's going to be different for everybody. And I think it's about like really just thinking about, what do you actually love? What do you enjoy? What are the foods you love to taste? Add more good stuff to your plate, and then eventually everything will just crowd out, and you'll just like eventually be eating just good stuff and the right amount for your body, because we're all different.
So you can see if we start off with just little baby steps with mindful eating, food changes each day, rather than just thinking I want to try and do everything that they're doing within a week. Like that's unrealistic expectations. We're not going to meet that. Like with anything, we need to sort of set new habits, and that's why they say it takes 21 days to create habits. We know that you guys probably choose the 21 days for your Merrymaker challenges for that reason exactly, because it's about changing these lifelong patterns. And when you are following your bliss, you will know when you're in flow and you're making changes, and things will start to tick. You'll start meeting people, resonating with people that are on the same path. Okay, you'll hear the haters, but you won't take on that energy. You'll just keep going and keep going. And look, anything is possible. Don't limit yourself, because so often we do. We're only talking about that today, how we can even limit ourselves. So keep reaching for the stars, guys, and honor as always to connect with you guys finally in person, to filling up our merry tanks. I like to call it the love tank. Carla and Emma, just amazing work that you're doing.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Lauren.
Namaste. Can we say namaste together?
Yeah.
Namaste.